led the kids in an enthusiastic version of the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. The song had been stuck in my head for days afterward. Beside me, Roma was already up and dancing. It seemed like the whole crowd was on its feet, spilling across the parking lot onto the grassy river bank. Roma grabbed my hand and pulled me off my chair.
"I can't believe they kept the whole band coming back together a secret."
"Me neither," I said, leaning sideways so she could hear me. Harry had been in the library just hours ago, and there had been no hint from him that he'd be on stage tonight when I said I was looking forward to seeing Johnny in concert. I had no idea Harry was so good at keeping a secret. It seemed there were a lot of things I didn't know about Harry Taylor.
"Well, Mike checked my cracked tooth on Thursday, and he didn't give anything away either,"
Roma said, raising her voice over the crowd noise. Mike Bishop, who had expertly completed a root canal on my upper left molar just recently, was also up on stage, playing bass, standing behind and to the left of Johnny. Like Johnny and Harry, he was wearing jeans and a black shirt, along with a dark gray fedora over his gray curls. And he couldn't seem to stop grinning. He raised one arm in the air. "Come on, people, you should be dancing," he shouted. The outdoor concert was part of the last bash, a revival, after 25 years, of a summer festival celebrating food, music, and small-town life. Mayville Heights was trying to bring back the celebration as a way to entice more tourists to our Minnesota town. The highlight of the event for just about everyone was the return to the stage of Johnny Rock, who had been a local celebrity in his teens and 20s, first as the lead singer of Johnny and the Outlaws, and then as a solo performer. Johnny had gone on to become a very successful businessman. He had just sold his real estate development company and was going back to his first love, music. I closed my eyes for a moment and just focused on Johnny's voice as the band segued into Boston's More Than a Feeling. I draped my arm around Roma's shoulders, and we swayed back and forth to the music, heads together like we were teenagers. The 1976 rock ballad showcased Johnny's vocal range. He was good. Not just small-town bar band good. Good enough to have had a career as a working musician, in my opinion. And I knew a little about the music business. My brother, Ethan, had his own band back in Boston, the Flaming Gerbils. I'd learned from watching his career develop how mercurial the music business could be, how it took more than talent, how sometimes it seemed that talent was the least important factor. I couldn't help wondering what had derailed Johnny's long-ago musical aspirations. Roma was singing It's More Than a Feeling softly by my ear. I opened my eyes. Next to Roma, her husband Eddie and our friend Maggie were dancing. I knew Mags could dance, but I hadn't known that Eddie could. I shouldn't have been surprised. Eddie Sweeney was a former NHL player. He was tall and fast and smooth on his feet, even without skates. To my right, Marcus, my Marcus, was dancing with Mary Lowe. Mary was easily a foot shorter than he was and several decades older, but she had some smooth moves herself. She caught my eye, raised her eyebrows, and gave me a saucy grin. I smiled back at her.
"Best night ever,"
Roma said. It was one of her favorite expressions, but she was right. This was going to be one of those nights I knew I'd remember for a long time. The band came to their last song way too soon. "You know, I could stay out here all night," Johnny began. "Do it!" a voice yelled from somewhere on the edge of the riverbank. There were echoes of the words all through the crowd. Johnny smiled. "Believe me, I'd like to. But like they say, all good things must come to an end." He gazed out over the crowd. "Thank you all for coming tonight, and I hope you liked my—" He turned and looked over his shoulder at the guys behind him.